everybody, welcome back to another video. Today's video is another picking a recipe from one of my many cookbooks that you can see all up there at complete random and cooking it with almost no exception to what it is. I've done 2 of these videos already. This is going to be the 3rd one. That is how math works. And in case this is the first one that you're watching, this is basically what I do. I have on my phone, you can see right here, a wheel. Hi, puppy. Where I have, I'm not playing right now, I'm filming a video. As you can see on the screen, I have a wheel that I have added in all of the different cookbooks that I own. Most of them are up there. I have a couple that are sort of miscellaneous throughout the house because we use them, but this wheel has all of them on it. What I will do is I will spin that wheel so it picks one of these cookbooks at random, and then I will take another app that I have and punch in the page numbers of that cookbook and have that select a page number at random. I will flip to that page in that cookbook. Whatever recipe is on it, I will cook. If there are multiple recipes, I will punch in the number of recipes, have that randomized again, and then whatever number that is what we will cook. If it falls on a page that there is no recipe, I will re-roll those numbers. Now, for the most part, whatever recipe it lands on, I am going to make, whether I really want to or not. There are just a couple exceptions though. The first exception is if it is a recipe I have made in the past. The whole point of doing this is to make new recipes. So if I have cooked the recipe in the past, I will re-roll. I will not cook that same recipe twice. The second exception is if it is a recipe that is a beverage that includes alcohol, I will not cook it. I'm totally fine if it lands on a beverage, like I don't care making drinks, but I'm not going to make anything that's alcoholic. So if it lands on an alcoholic drink, I will be re-rolling. The third and final exception is if it rolls and lands on a recipe that requires a very specific, expensive piece of kitchen, like mechanism, kitchen item, kitchen mechanic. Device! Thank you! If it lands on a very specific kitchen device that is expensive, that Dan and I are like, that we won't use for anything else, then we will also be skipping that because I'm not looking to go broke making these videos. So now that you know all of those basics, it is time to grab my phone. You can see it on the screen right there, and time to spin and see what we get for the cookbook that we are cooking for. Predictions, I'm already anticipating it being a dessert. The last 2 times I have done this, it has been a dessert. Not shocking because most cookbooks are either all dessert that I own or they have a very large dessert section. So let's see what we get. 3, 2, 1, spin. Casserole range 2 and oven. Casseroles, range 2, and oven. Okay, I actually don't recognize the name of that cookbook, which is strange to me. Also, there must have been punctuation in there that I'm not getting because that looks strange. Okay, let me find that cookbook quick. Casseroles, range 2, and oven. Huh. Oh. I found it. It's not range 2, that was a typo. It is casseroles, range top, and oven. There it is right there. So I have a couple recipes tabbed in here of like ones that I wanted to try, so that's interesting to see. This is a Betty Crocker picture cookbook. Ooh. All right, so where is the first page of recipes? Page number 4, and it goes all the way to 64, so 4 to 64. So let me go in to scoot over for you so you can see it. We're gonna go to number. Minimum is, nope, 4. Maximum is 64. I'm gonna go done and generate in 3, 2, 1, generate. 42. All right, let's see what we have on page 42. I'm already like more excited about this because it's not a dessert. All right, so 42. Ooh, okay. On page 42 is a recipe for Spanish chicken and rice. That looks pretty good. So that is what it looks like My camera is shaking because my animals are running all over. That's very exciting. All right, so I'm very excited to have my first not dessert in here. So what I will do now is I will go get all the ingredients and jump to when I am ready to make this Spanish chicken and rice. Hello, we are now in the kitchen for the actual cooking portion of this recipe. You just saw me pick out this first non-dessert random recipe that I am very excited about, especially because the last video that you saw of me doing these random recipes, we made that paleo banana toffee pie thing and it was horrendous. Now, I don't know what the comments are like for that video because for you guys, it might have been a full week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks to a month between that video and this video, whereas for me, I filmed that yesterday. We tried that pie last night. It is still very fresh in my mind of how not good it was. So, maybe I did something wrong and you guys in the comments have shown me the light and corrected me on what I did wrong, but I don't currently know that. We're trying this Spanish chicken and rice recipe. There is a picture of it on the screen so you can see it and take screenshots if you want to try it. I have the chicken here. The recipe calls for a 2.5 to 3 pound broiler fryer chicken cut up, and I didn't have a whole chicken that I could cut up into pieces, but we did have chicken leg quarters. So I took that, I cut the drumstick from the thigh, and I took most all of the skin off of it just because I really don't want the skin on there. I don't know if that's like a mistake. The picture definitely has skin on there still, but like I didn't want it, so I took it off. Maybe that's wrong, who knows? And it's a little over 3 pounds. It's like closer to 3.5 pounds. Again, it'll be fine. When you're cooking, you're given a lot more liberty and freedom to be iffy with the actual amounts of things, not so much with baking. So we're gonna go ahead and get this started. From start to finish, it should take about an hour to cook for like actual cooking time, and most of that hour is simmer time. Looking at this recipe, I'm just gonna stand here and like read it in front of you. I think Lambeau's playing with a squeaky toy. I have my pan over here that I'm going to use. We're going to put the chicken in there, add the salt and pepper, add the stewed tomatoes, add the water, bring it to a boil, all of that juice, bring it to a boil, take it down to just a simmer and cover it and let it simmer for 30 minutes. That is going to, I think, mostly cook the chicken. All right, it has been the full 30 minutes, so now we are going to add in the second batch of ingredients, which, looking at this, is our rice, ham strips, thyme, red pepper, and garlic. So we'll bring that back to a boil, reduce the heat, cover it, and let it simmer for another 20 minutes. This is an insanely simple recipe to follow. So I have high hopes that it turns out good, because if it does, I will 1,000,000% be making it again. So we're gonna start with the cup of rice. Sprinkle all of that in. Have all of my ham chunks, which are not actually chunks. I didn't realize the ham that I bought was like pre-sliced, so they're strips, but they're like nowhere near as thick as I wanted them, which is really sad. So we're getting thinner chunks of ham. Not gonna lie, I'm not that happy about it. I'm actually tempted to wait and leave the ham until the last step for that 20 minutes because it's so thin. I don't want it to like overcook. So I think I'm gonna do that actually. Got that in there. Let me adjust this so you can see what's going on. There you go. I'm gonna give this a good stir to make sure all of that rice is in there. Beautiful. Chicken is starting to fall off the bone a little bit, which I love. I shut the heat off just to get that added in. I'm gonna do that just to kind of even everything out. We're gonna bring that back to a boil and let it simmer for another 20 minutes. This is how it's looking 20 minutes later. Oh, well, that's all fogged up. There we go. This is how it's looking 20 minutes later. That's looking pretty great, if you ask me. And it smells pretty fantastic, if you ask me. All right, the only thing left to do now is I have a bag of peas and artichokes, well, artichoke hearts, that I'm going to put into that strainer, rinse under cold water to make sure they are totally separated. They've been sitting out for the 20 minutes that this has been simmering, so they're probably totally thawed enough, but just so they don't go in like frozen. And we let that simmer another 10 minutes. I'll add the ham at this point now. Add a little bit more salt, which I'm hesitant. I'll probably taste it before I add more salt, honestly, because I already added 2 teaspoons worth of salt, and the ham is gonna add salt, so I don't think I'm gonna actually add any more salt. It's a lot, but we'll see. So yeah, just gotta rinse those off and toss them in. Ooh, that is really gonna thicken this up. Oh, buddy. I'm excited about the artichoke hearts, honestly. Get everything incorporated. Yeah, I really don't think I'm gonna add any more salt, to be honest. I must say, this looks and smells incredible. So all of the chicken pieces, they are still like bone in, but they're very tender.
Okay, cool.
So I was trying to be gentle when I stirred everything to make sure like it wouldn't start breaking apart from the bone. The chicken I think I'm gonna put on the plate, and then everything else I'm gonna try to scoop out with this. That's what I'm gonna try to do.
I'm gonna get a fork. Excuse me, a knife.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, chicken's where it's at.
Yeah. I like this. I think it can be improved on by maybe adding some flavors so that the tomato isn't so forward.
Mm-hmm.
And the thyme came through really strongly.
Mm-hmm.
I added more thyme than what it called for because it called for such a tiny amount of it. And I'm not mad that it came through so well. I don't know if I like it so much because it actually tastes so good, or because it's so much better than last night's.
It probably helps. So,
But
taste, yes. Creativity, yes. Presentation,
But this was so simple.
yeah.
The most challenging part of this entire thing was taking the skin off of the meat and just breaking it apart. That was the most challenging part.
Okay, well, good.
And that was actually pretty easy.
Yeah,
So,
nice.
yeah, no, definitely recommend this if you want to try it and you think that it looks good. 10 out of 10, recommend.
Mm.
I am here for this.
What does that mean?
I like it. Like, yes,
Oh.
I'm on board.
Okay, I see.